Hello there, everybody. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a fantastic time so far. So I just wanted to quickly answer the question because I get it quite a lot. Can you run B2B cold email lead generation campaigns without breaking GDPR guidelines? And so that's what I'm going to at least attempt to answer. So hopefully this video is useful for you guys. Anyone think you're running those types of campaigns? So I hear this all the time. We can't run B2B cold email campaigns. What about GDPR? So if you're avoiding running cold email campaigns because you're worried about GDPR compliance, then hopefully this video will be useful. So quick caveat, I'm not a lawyer, not personally, but these are the standards that legitimate B2B businesses and B2B organizations follow to minimize risk and respect the regulations. And so cold email is currently being used successfully by thousands of B2B companies and B2B organizations across the entire business world, really, but yeah, Europe, every day. And so from startups to Fortune 500 companies, from marketing agencies to SaaS businesses, this is cold email campaigns are run successfully with minimal trouble they're getting themselves into. Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about. So sending cold emails to B2B prospects is done successfully across Europe, across the business world, as long as you follow the right guidelines. And so today, I'm going to show you exactly what actually matters when it comes to GDPR compliance for B2B cold email, why it shouldn't stop you from running B2B cold outbound campaigns. But first, we have a little TLDR, the too long didn't read. So B2C cold email, thumbs down. B2B cold email with poor processes, thumbs down. B2B cold email with good GDPR compliant processes, thumbs up. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So quick overview. GDPR permits sending B2B, right? B2B, not B2C, B2B cold emails to businesses. So not personal contacts, no at Gmails, no at Yahoo, no at Outlook, professional businesses when done properly. And so here's what that actually means. So GDPR regulates how you handle personal data. That's really what it is. And so where you get it, what data you collect, how you store it, and how you process it. And so for cold email, this means following specific requirements around data collection. So how do you get your list of leads to contact, identifying who you are in your emails, so your copy, making sure that you are transparent, right? Your email signature is accurate, is definitely you, it's not someone else. Providing opt-outs, right? And there's ways to go about that, and securing their data properly. And so I'm going to show you the best practices that address these considerations. And so the real question we should ask ourselves isn't can we do cold email, it's are we willing to do it properly? And so if you're willing to do it properly, then yeah, I guess continue watching. So all that's standing between you and a channel that actually could transform your agency's growth is this, or that's at least how I see it. And so a quick point. So I am in a cold email community. There we go. I'm in agency velocity. And so I've only ever heard of one fine ever being issued in specifically when it comes to cold email. And that was because the campaign targeted German prospects. And so culturally and legally, Germany is a lot stricter on sending cold emails compared to other countries like UK, USA, other countries like that. And so, yeah, just keep that in mind. A lot of countries with a German culture might not be, they might be a lot more stricter when it comes to this stuff compared to others. And so culturally, there is a divide. And so what actually matters, the 4 best practice requirements. So number 1, this is a big block of text, so let's battle it together. So number 1, only target prospects with genuine interest. So this is the most important requirement. You cannot blast generic emails to anyone with a pulse. GDPR includes a concept called legitimate interest as a legal basis for processing data. So for cold email, this means you need a defensible reason of why each prospect would actually care about your offer. So you're demonstrating that contacting them serves a genuine business purpose and is relevant to their professional role. And so here's the key distinction. B2B cold email to business addresses is where this approach applies. So again, B2C cold email to personal addresses, so Gmail accounts, Yahoo addresses, that's where you get into trouble. And so if you are targeting For example, marketing directors at law firms offering to help them with the marketing for the legal industry. That's demonstrating legitimate interest, or as far as I understand it, that's demonstrating legitimate interest. If you're emailing random consumers at personal addresses with an irrelevant offer, that's usually what leads to the bigger issues. And so if you use proper GDPR-compliant lead generation tools with advanced filters to build lists of genuine prospects, not scraped personal emails, that's a good way to make sure we're following this kind of best practice. So next, we have number 2, limit what data you collect and store. So only collect and store data that is essential for outreach. So this typically means business name, work email address, job title, brief company information, right? If you use Clay to get just a little bit of information. What you should not collect or store: personal phone numbers, home addresses, information about someone's family or private life, right? This is business, right? You don't need to know that stuff anyway. And so even if you think about this practically, if you are personalizing an email by mentioning someone's children or personal hobbies that weren't publicly shared in a professional context, that is creepy, that is unprofessional, that kind of stuff is really illegal, and that's not okay. And it probably wouldn't even work just due to the creepiness, right? Imagine you're reaching out to someone a cold email, saying, "Hey," and mentioning like the kids' names. It's like, don't do that, okay? Keep it business focused, maintain appropriate boundaries, right? And once your campaign ends, you can consider, purge the data, and even consider recording just in written confirmation that you have purged the campaign data and keep it in your records. Just, hey, just quick confirmation on this date at this time, we have done this, and just keep it in your records. And don't keep data indefinitely. And that should be, if you do that, that should be you're following best practices there. Next, number 3, include a clear, easy out option. So every single cold email campaign should give recipients a simple way to opt out. Ideally, this means either using an unsubscribe link or clear instructions like reply stop to opt out. But the issue with cold email here is that, so an unsubscribe link is a link, and having links in your cold email before they've even replied to your email. So if you send a cold email with a link to someone who has never replied to you before, the providers of these email service, they don't like that, right? So Google Workspace, Microsoft Outlook, they don't like it when people do that, right? Because that's kind of spammy. So that's the kind of issue. If you have an unsubscribe link, it will hurt your deliverability. Therefore, a written opt-out is best here, right? Because it's text. And so important, when someone opts out or tells you that they're not interested, you must immediately remove them for all current and future campaigns. So no exceptions, no one more follow-up, right? If they have told you that they're not interested, then they're not interested, and back off. And so this is a GDPR best practice. And a bonus, it's up to you if you want to do it, but after each negative reply, consider sending a written confirmation that they have been removed from the campaign and will not be contacted anymore. This is not a requirement, right? Some groups of people really won't care about this, while other groups like lawyers, right, these are people who have a job of following the rules, they might prefer this, right? And so it kind of depends on who you're contacting, right? You don't have to do this, but this is another good practice you can do. Number 4, identify yourself and avoid deception. So your emails must clearly identify who you are and why you're reaching out. So you want to use your real name, your real company name, and write subject lines that accurately reflect your email content, so no clickbait, right? And so this means no fake sender names, no misleading subject lines like "Are your order" when there was no order, no masking your domain or pretending to be someone you're not, redirecting your sending domain to your main domains. And this is right. So sending domain is the domain you send the email from. If they copy and paste it and put it into Google, then it redirects to your main domain so they can check you out, right? And then also adding in an email signature, just so name, title, company name of your business, where they can easily just copy and paste your name into Google to check you out and verify that you are a legitimate person, right? If you come up on Google, and by the way, if you're interested in that, there's a video on my channel as well. If you come up on Google, right, it's like 4 or 5 results about you with a picture of your face come on Google, when someone Googles your name, title, and company name, then that's good. That's going to, like, they can verify that you're a legitimate human breathing person, and not with good intentions, not someone trying to get one over them. And that's what we're going to do here. And so being upfront builds trust, especially with compliance focused prospects. So you have lawyers, if you're talking to accountants, financial advisors, if you're transparent about who you are, you're already ahead of most cold emailers who try to be clever or deceptive. And so, yeah, let's do that. And so, an additional point from me. So, yes, GDPR fines absolutely exist, and they can be severe and quoted up to 20 million euros or 4% of global annual turnover for serious violations. But the vast majority of GDPR fines are issued for massive data breaches, systematic privacy violations by massive companies like tech giants, or companies that completely ignore this kind of stuff. Fines specifically to B2B cold email are extremely rare. And again, the only instance I've ever personally heard of being involved of sending cold emails, B2B cold emails, was to German recipients. And Germany has the strictest interpretation of these laws in the EU, and also culturally, I mean, it's they care about that stuff way more than others, like compared to the UK or the US. The Germans are far more stricter on those things like that, right? And so, again, I'm not a lawyer, and so I'm not saying there's zero risk entirely. What I am saying is that when you follow these 4 best practices that we've covered, you're doing what thousands of legitimate B2B organizations and businesses do successfully across the business world every day. And so, yeah, the real risk here is actually avoiding cold email entirely, missing out on one of the most cost-effective, scalable B2B channels available in 2025. And that's a risk that no one is talking about here. And so, yes, follow best practices. Yes, minimize your risk, but consider stopping letting GDPR being the reason that you're not using cold email, especially to B2B, because the real risk is sitting on the sidelines, worrying about how things can go wrong while everyone else moves forward, right? As long as you are at least making an attempt to follow best practices and minimizing your risk, then I suggest you go with it, either with me or even by yourself, right? Just make sure that you're following, again, best practices. And so here's how we approach it at my agency, Cosmic Growth Labs. So yeah, let me walk you through my approach, which is designed to minimize risk and respect the regulations. So business emails only. We don't target personal email addresses, work emails at legitimate businesses only. Compliant data sources, so only use verified GDPR-compliant lead databases. Not even lead databases, but lead sources. So where you can scrape. Let me remove that. So where you can scrape and stuff like that. There are other videos about scraping B2B leads, but yeah, just making sure that it is GDPR compliant, and then even trying to go for written confirmation from data providers that the sources and use cases that we are using it meet data protection standards, or specifically GDPR standards. A clear business purpose, so every contact receives relevant, respectful messages via email, which is the least intrusive outreach channel. So no cold calls, no cold SMS. You can do cold calls and you can do cold SMS to B2B prospects, but that's just not what we do. So full transparency. So every email clearly states who we are and why we're reaching out. And so no deception, no tricks, no weird cloaking things. No, we're like clear signatures. If someone copies and pastes our domain into Google, it will redirect to our main domain, our legitimate domain. Minimal data storage, so we only store business essential data, where we purge campaign data after the campaign ends. Secure handling, all data lives in secure sending tools with full audit logs, so who we sent to, who opted out, who replied, and when data was deleted. And you can do this with your sending tools like SmartLead and Instantly. No shady tactics, so no bulk purchase lists, right? For people who didn't know that the information was going to be forwarded, right? No B2C lists. That's where these things create issues. No masking domains, no spam, just professional targeted B2B outreach. And so the bottom line is this: cold email is standard practice for B2B companies. from startups to Fortune 500 firms. We're just trying to do it professionally, following best practices and respecting data protection principles. So I yapped on for a long time. Hope that was useful. Hope you got something out of it. Thank you for watching. And yeah, bye. See ya.